Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Now, this piece of news coming from Vladimir Putin, I don't think is news for most of us, at least not for me. I mean, I've been having this kind of gut feeling, not gut feeling, but information from I think the first month or two since the war started in Ukraine between NATO, United States of America, and Russia on the territory of the Ukrainians, unfortunately, with a Ukrainian leader and leadership. All right, so we have here Russia Today, state-owned media outlet, that tells us what Putin claimed during his, I think, campaign election win, speech. So here it is. Russia Today, 17th of March 2024. Troops from NATO states operating in Ukraine, Putin said. Oy vey. Surprise, surprise. Not at all. Soldiers from members of the bloc are dying in large numbers, the Russian president has claimed. It is no secret that fighters from NATO states are present on the ground in Ukraine, Russian President Vladimir Putin has claimed. You see, this is a state media outlet, but still, you see, they say claimed. They don't say like other Western media outlets, just Putin said or claim. He just, that's what the guy, claimed. We don't, He warned that these troops face extremely grim prospects. Speaking to his supporters and the media on Sunday night after his landslide presidential election victory, Putin stressed that Moscow is well aware of calls in the US-led military bloc to potentially deploy troops in Ukraine. And I'm quoting Putin. We hear both French and English speech there. There is nothing good in this. First of all, for them, because they die there and in large numbers. End quote, he said. Putin also weighed in on the potential for a full-scale conflict between NATO and Russia, warning that it could not be ruled out. And I'm quoting, anything is possible in the modern world. But everyone knows that this would be one step shy of a full-scale World War III. I don't think that anyone is interested in that. Well, I tell you a group of people that is very interested actually in that. The people who are waiting for the messianic prophecy to fulfill. You see how nicely I put it? Okay. So we got those guys among us. All right. No, you don't think so? Okay, let's move on. French President Emmanuel Macron, who cannot run for elections again unless France changes its constitution and he's going to be re-elected. But as my cousin said a few minutes ago, Macron is right now fighting for his party. He's done, he's trying for his party, he's fighting for the European Union seats. So that's why he's so tough, because some people say, what's going on with this motherfucker Macron? Well, he's out. In France, at least he's not there. But they try to promote him and his party somewhere in the European Union. Maybe he wants to sideline the Romanian Klaus Iohannis, the president of the Romanian Federation, Romania, push him to the side and kick the Rutte, is that his name, Rutte? Hans Rutte or something, the Prime Minister of the Netherlands, out. So Macron will be the chief of NATO. But I don't think this being a secretary of NATO is such an important thing. I don't think, because you're just, how should I put it? You're not actually in charge. Let's put it this way. You still let the Americans, whatever. Remember, if you don't, look at the video when Trump met Stoltenberg in Brussels. Remember when they had a little dinner or breakfast or whatever he had? He spoke like a principal with a pupil, with a student in the principal's office. That's how Trump spoke with Stoltenberg. Just watch that one. So that's why I don't think Macron wants to put himself in that situation when whomever, Trump or whomever, comes over there and tells him what to do, especially being an American, right? So he doesn't want to do that. But at his level of weaselship, I don't think he gives a fuck. I think his ass is penetrated multiple times already, so he's like a I don't know how you call it, strainer or whatever that is. Anyway, French President Emmanuel Macron suggested last month that the West cannot exclude the possibility of sending soldiers to aid Ukraine. Why do you say the West? Why don't you just do it? Hey, friends, why don't you do it? You know, put your things together, get your boots on, get the Grande Armée, and get the fuck towards Moscow again. Why not? I tell you why. Because you know the outcome. No? Okay, then why don't you do it? Just go. Just go. Get the, what's that? What was the Napoleon's Guard? Let me remember it. Yeah, so I had to refresh my memory together with my cousin here. And it's the Imperial Guard, which at Waterloo, it was, what, 13,000 of them? And then they retreated because I don't know why. And then, weren't they at Moscow and they retreated about 5,000 kilometers? Again, the Grande Armée and the Imperial Guard. Nevertheless, I don't want to take anything away from the French people then. And the keyword is then, not now. What you guys have over there is... Anyway, that's the reality. Just go to the Hotel des Invalides, get Napoleon out, hold his little hand and go around Paris and introduce him to the new French and see what he's going to say. He's going to say, what the fuck? Are we invaded? Are we in... Can say it, man. We're in YouTube right here. So nevertheless, why don't you go, Macron? Just show some balls that you don't have. Let's move on. Here. So, he later described Russia as an adversary, end quote, insisting, however, that Paris is not waging war on Moscow. No, because he's like this. He doesn't want to be smacked back. So he's smacking Russia through sending all kind of this and that to Ukraine. Those guys are dying. We're not at war, but we are there. But Russia cannot hit us back. No. Please, no, we're not at war. As I said with a divorce. I gave you this analogy before. Well, I want a divorce. Well, I don't want a divorce. I don't give a fuck if you want a divorce. I want a divorce. We're not, the same here. No, France says, we're not divorcing. Russia says, yes, we are. No, we're not. What do you think will happen? You're going to get divorced. The same here. No, we're not at war with Russia. But maybe by Russia's angle, you are. All right, let's move on. Commenting on Macron's remarks, Putin noted that while NATO troops in Ukraine are expected to act as an auxiliary force, helping Kiev train its military, I don't think that's all they do, and I'm quoting, this is not much different from what mercenaries are doing there now, end quote. Russia, he added, wants France not to escalate the conflict, but to help find a peaceful solution to hostilities. Peaceful solution, like, again, since we are with the French, mon amis, French people, I have nothing against them. I just think they're screwing their nation. They've been doing this for way. If you remember Arthur Schopenhauer, the German philosopher, Arthur Schopenhauer, one of my favorites, he said, I think in, I can't remember it was Life, Death, and Love. That's one of his little booklets. Very interesting. I suggest you read it. In that he's talking about the French then in the 19th century. And he said, and it's a joke. It's a joke. I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings. It's just what the guy said. He was German, remember. He said that, all continents have monkeys. Like monkeys, no, like the animals. Except Europe. But we have French by compensation. Joke. Okay, so now you're gonna love the Schopenhauer more than that. Anyway, so here it is, my friends. France wants to solve problems in its own. So let's go to Napoleon. That's where I started, with Napoleon. Napoleon said, I love peace. I'm a man of peace. Unless the peace is done on my terms. So the same, when you hear, oh, the Houthis don't want peace, oh, the Palestinians don't want peace. We want peace. Why? Because you have what those guys want. So it's about one. If I get your wife and you start fighting, I say, hey man, what's going on here? I mean, after all, you don't like peace. Yeah, motherfucker, but you got... So again, I'm a man of peace with your property. or whatever you got, a car or whatever. And the other one is the warlike guy. Why? Because maybe I got something that you had. I own something. Same here. The peace. What's that? Well, you have to negotiate. You have to discuss. You have to look at reality. And reality is things in the world are settled by force, ultimately. Force. Who's stronger dictates. And they're going to try to supposedly be a little bit more civilized. And then if you don't, they're going to close your banking account like the beautiful, what's his name, Justin Trudeau did to the Freedom Convoy, remember? And you get too close to me, I'm going to you up. It was about power. So nevertheless, are there troops over there? Western troops? I think they are. Under different euphemistic terms. I know, love-making troops, peace-making troops, volunteers, and so on. Who's going to know? We know. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Remember, this is what Putin claims. I tell you, in about 2 years after all that garbage in Ukraine will end, regardless how it ends, right? If we are allowed to still be around, there will be some Zelensky-Stein, Zelenskynsberg, Zelenskynsman allowed to write some best-selling books, just like this, and they're going to tell us all that. I guarantee you that. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.